Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're back to full strength today. Joan Jones is in the newsroom, and Mason has recovered from the Super Bowl flu. How are you feeling, Mason? You doing all right there, bud? I know yesterday was a tough day for you.
I actually had a great day on Sunday. My Seahawks won, and I was in a great mood, but the hangover was rough. The hangover of too much joy because I don't drink.
Mason.
It's a good day. It's a good day. You
Mason.
can't put me down, Chris. You can't bring me down. Lying to everybody saying I'm sick yesterday? We don't do that.
Well, nobody knew. No,
sick.
you were the only one that was lying about being sick. Nobody lied on you.
That's okay.
Side note, your lovely Seahawks. Do you know that Sam Darnold had to pay money to be in that Super Bowl?
Yeah, I did.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
The jock tax. This is Boomer Esiason on WFAN out of New York.
Oh yeah.
We've played some WFAN stuff before.
Yeah.
Remember when they did the Superman review? It's like, what are we doing with the robots? I don't like the robots.
They're not good. You're
Okay,
giving them names.
So Superman doesn't need help, especially from some broad. That's what it was. Boomer Esiason had this breakdown, which I thought was fascinating, on the jock tax in California. Listen to this.
For winning the Super Bowl, the winning team, each player gets $178,000. In other words, the Super Bowl isn't a part of their salary. And because the game was played in California, and California has a jock tax, and they look at duty days. So each team spends 7 days in the state of California. So those are 7 duty days, and they pierce your regular salary at 3.5%. So he has to pay, when you take in account he got the $178,000 plus his overall salary, he has to pay the state of California for spending 7 days there $249,000.
That's just so stupid. I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
really is.
it ends up costing him $71,000 to go play in California. Now, if I'm the NFLPA, now you got to remember, it's probably even more than that because since he's in Seattle, he's playing against San Francisco 49ers. So that's another day he's there. And he's playing against the LA Rams. That's another day he's there. So he's probably had like 9 or 10 duty days, or maybe even more than that in the state of California. So if I'm the NFLPA, I'm like, hey, we're not playing any more Super Bowls in California. We're just not doing it.
No. Could you imagine that? I don't really feel bad for Sam Darnold, but I do feel bad for like the guys that are second string, third string that don't even see the field, that aren't making the crazy money that Sam Darnold is making. Like that.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt.
Oh, absolute hit to the pocket.
You have to show up for the Super Bowl. You don't get to play in the Super Bowl, and you owe money for the Super Bowl. That stinks.
That's rough.
Yep. So
Not a fan, but he won.
okay.
Does that even out? I don't know.
He's gonna have to hawk his Super Bowl ring to
Go to a pawn
to
shop.
clear things out with the state of California. We got a lot to talk about today. We're not just going to focus on Mason faking sick. We won't. We'll bring it up occasionally, but we're not going to. It's not going to be a main focus of the show. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the SAVE Act. We're going to talk about immigration. I want to start though with the Epstein files. Oh, weird. Anytime anybody has this accusation about Donald Trump, what have I said? What have I asked for? A link. I've asked for a link. There's so much online with the Epstein files that is fabricated. You know, people are juicing it for the likes and for the algorithm, and they're making stuff up, and then it catches fire, and then before you know, everybody believes something to be true, right? There's tons of files like that, and there's other files where, like, if you dig in and do some actual research, you can find out it's either debunked, it doesn't really match up with what the online theory and narrative is. Like I saw one where they're talking about sulfuric acid, right? He got 330 gallons of sulfuric acid. But if you take a step back and you realize there's a desalination plant on the island, and that's what they were using the sulfuric acid for, it becomes a little bit less wild than disposing of bodies. Now, I get where everybody's at, and I've been there myself. It's like we're falling into this confirmation bias. So that's not to say that Epstein is a good guy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just to say when you see these claims online, you have to dig in and do some research. You have to be able to think critically. You can't let your emotions get the best of you. And then, hey, maybe there's some there, and maybe there's not. And this has been happening with Donald Trump nonstop, where they're bringing up debunked claims, old theories, old stories that we have already discussed, and they're like, aha, we got them. And then I'll ask individuals for the link. And then I never get the link. They never send the link. They just say that Donald Trump is he's guilty of raping kids. And I say, okay, I'm open to that possibility being true. And if it is true, Donald Trump should pay for it. But I need to see a little bit more information. If you're new to this and you're now just thinking that the entire government is run by satanic pedophiles, like we've seen this movie before, and we just have to take a deep breath and really dig into the information that's in front of us and decide, is this credible? Is this real? You know, there's 3 million files. Nobody had the opportunity to dig through 3 million files. So a lot of the stuff that's going around on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, it's not true. It's just not. And that goes for a lot of these claims. So be careful what the source is. And ask for proof. Ask for the source link. Ask for the original DOJ file. So this came up. Donald Trump called the Palm Beach police chief about Jeffrey Epstein in 2006. Described Ghislaine Maxwell as evil and Epstein's operative. Huh. Weird. And this kind of matches everything that we've been saying about Donald Trump. He was one of the first ones to blow the whistle on this guy. We've played the clip from defense attorney Bradley Edwards, who represented 70-plus Epstein victims, and said that out of all the celebrities that he tried to get in touch with, all the elites, the politicians, the business leaders, the only one who gave him any information was Donald Trump. Now we get this file that's making the rounds today. And just so you know, if anybody would like to see this file, I can send you the link. I'll send you the link because it's on the U.S. Department of Justice website. It is a 4-page report from the FBI, and it very clearly states that Donald Trump was actively discussing things with the Palm Beach Police Department, saying you need to go after this guy. Want me to read it for you in its entirety? I'll read the paragraph before and the paragraph after, just for context. I don't think we should read the whole 4 pages, but if you would like to, I have the link. Text me 615-737-9986, and I will copy and paste this link for you, and then you can look it over yourself and determine what you think. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just presenting you with some information. Starts out like this. Palm Beach Country Club is a Jewish country club. A lot of wealthy people are there, and they all flock together. Mar-a-Lago is a mixture of everyone. Donald Trump told Redacted that he threw Epstein out of his club. Trump called the PBPD, Palm Beach Police Department, to tell him, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. Trump told him people in New York knew Epstein was disgusting. Trump said Maxwell was Epstein's operative. She is evil. Focus on her. Trump told Redacted that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump got the hell out of there. That's a quote. Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out that they were investigating Epstein. Is this why they didn't release the files while Joe Biden was president? Is this why the Democrats have realized that it's no longer a weapon to bludgeon Trump? And are we seeing 4D chess? I mean, it's worth asking the question, is Donald Trump saying there's nothing there so that way everybody will go orange man bad and do the exact opposite? Maybe. But newly released files are showing just what we have always said. Donald Trump was pointing the finger at Epstein, not wrapping his arm around him. Weird. There's also some other crazy stuff in the Epstein files. For starters, Howard Lutnick. He said that his relationship with Epstein was done. Newly released files claim that that was a lie. Howard Lutnick should resign. He should. He lied to the American people. I don't think I'm not saying that he did anything illegal. I'm not saying he did anything untoward. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But what we can prove today is that he lied to the American people. Howard Lutnick should be out of a job. As good as he is at his job, sorry, bridge too far. And you know what else? I think that will send a strong message that this administration is not playing around. Get him out. Get him out. There's also some interesting things. Newly released Epstein documents reveal FBI agents purposely removed hard drives from jail video recording system, intentionally erasing all prison footage during the time of Epstein's death. Again, I can send you the link for this from the DOJ files if you would like to view it. Redacted advised that an FBI agent was the one who pulled out the DVR. Redacted also advised that he knew that by replacing both hard drives, the system would be wiped, and that he advised personnel at MCC of that. That's interesting. Redacted advised that only one hard drive of the camera system was working at the time of the incident on August 10th, 2019. When a DVR went bad, none of the cameras recorded. There was a system failure of DVR2 on July 29th, 2019, and the motherboard failed on August 8th, 2019. The hard drive failure occurred on August 10th. After the incident, Redacted was asked about the cameras. There were 2 new hard drives to install, but installing the new hard drives would mean that all prior data would be lost. The warden wanted the video, and so Redacted... Let me turn the page. And so Redacted did so. There you go. That's interesting. That's a new one. So the FBI removed the hard drives, and they knew they were removing the hard drives, and they knew that they were corrupting the evidence. There's also an interesting one about a decoy body. And this one plays into some of the theories online that Epstein is still alive, that he was using a Fortnite account. Have you heard this one? That Epstein's Fortnite account, it was confirmed that he used Fortnite on one of the emails, okay, that he had bought Fortnite credits. And then it was confirmed that he had an email that also correlated with this Fortnite username. I say all that to say this. There's a large portion of individuals online who think Epstein is still alive. I'm not against that. I haven't seen the proof of it. However, this new file, maybe this lends some credence to it. Maybe it's confirmation bias for those that are out there. Listen to this. They had a decoy body to distract the press when they were removing Epstein from the prison. I have the link for this as well. Any of these documents that y'all would like to see, you just text me and I'll send you the exact link, because I think that facts matter, and I don't want to be reading stuff that's just been fabricated on the internet. This is what it says. Due to the large news media presence outside the MCC, a male OCME official called and said he would be arriving at the loading dock with a black vehicle. In order to thwart the media, Redacted used boxes and sheets to create what appered to be a human body, which was put into the white OCME vehicle, which then the press followed, allowing the black vehicle to depart unnoticed with Epstein's body. That's weird. Isn't that a little weird? Who cares if the press sees it? And didn't we get photos of the Epstein body anyway? So even if they had a decoy, they didn't do a good job. It gets curiouser and curiouser the more you dig into the files. Rep. Thomas Massey, Ro Khanna, Lauren Boebert, they had some time to view unredacted files yesterday. Also yesterday, Ghislaine Maxwell was deposed. There's a big headline going around that says Ghislaine is very willing to clear Donald Trump of any wrongdoing if he grants her clemency. I don't think that that's ever going to happen. The headline really focuses on Donald Trump. The statement also includes Bill Clinton. We'll talk about that story and more, plus bring you all the relevant audio from Thomas Massey, Lauren Boebert, Ro Khanna, and one James Comer when we return. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. It's been a couple days. You're still staring at the salsa stain on your carpet from your Super Bowl party, and you haven't called anybody yet. It's not going to clean itself. And I don't know if you're going to be able to get it out under your own free will. I mean, with enough elbow grease, sure, anything can happen. But if you call my friends at Zero Res, they're going to take the hard work out of it for you. These guys will clean up any stains on your carpets, and they'll do it the Maha way with their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. They're not going to leave crunchy, weird-feeling carpets on your feet. No. They're going to leave immaculate carpets. Carpets that don't just look clean, but stay clean longer. It's not just carpets. They'll do upholstery. They'll do air ducts. They'll do tiles. They'll do rugs. They'll do the works. If you need to clean up the carpets, you need to call Zero Res. The reviews are in. Everybody loves Zero Res. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. If you don't like talking to people, I've been there. You can always book online. ZeroResNashville.com.
The water emergency is over for folks in Coffee County. We've got that coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand, 927 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV is up and running, and it's only going to get better, boys and Joan. It's only going to get better. So we're upgrading that tech, and we'll be at full strength here soon. We're going to be stronger than full strength, I think.
I sure hope so.
It's going to be like a steroid injection.
Whoa.
It's performance-enhancing streams. That's what we're going to be doing.
Boost through the day.
The PESs. All right, it's better than the POSs, but, you know, we're talking about Epstein. A lot of people asking me to send them that link, and I'm happy to. 615-737-9996, text in. It's very important that you verify all the claims that are going out there and verify them independently. I was talking with Mason off the air. It's like I saw one on the internet. I think it was Instagram. It's like, oh my gosh, did you see this email? Epstein was asked to meet with 6 to 7 year olds to do hot yoga. What? At 9 a.m.? And it's like, okay. Except if you dig in, there was a hot yoga studio on 30th between 6th and 7th. So, and I'm not like, this isn't just to say that I'm not trying to say Epstein's a good guy, but I'm just saying like we have to, as conservatives, we got to take a deep breath, and we can't just run with confirmation bias. Every claim needs to be verified independently, and you got to make sure that you're not looking at fake news. That being said, there's a bit of news out today because Maxwell was deposed, if you want to call it that. She went full Dave Chappelle, pleading the fifth yesterday. But Ghislaine Maxwell offers to clear Trump, Clinton in Jeffrey Epstein scandal if she's granted clemency. Never going to happen. And if it did happen, I think everyone would lose their collective minds. Ghislaine Maxwell is an evil woman. She should not be pardoned. She shouldn't even be in this cushier prison. And everybody knows it. Convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, this from New York Post, told Congress on Monday she'll clear both President Trump and former President Bill Clinton in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal once she's sprung from prison. Will you now? How could anybody believe that she could clear both, right? Like I don't think anyone on the right believes that you could clear both. I don't think anyone on the left believes that you could clear both. And now we're just looking at Ghislaine Maxwell, who's clearly trying to lie to get out of prison. We'll talk about this story more. I'll bring you what the New York Post said. Plus, we have audio from her deposition, and I'll bring it to you next. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Tennessee U.S. Senator Bill Hagerty filing a complaint with the FCC over Verizon's actions when the Biden administration investigated Republicans over the contested 2020 elections. In the complaint, Hagerty says Verizon willingly turned over his phone metadata and to special counsel Jack Smith instead of protecting it. He's asking the FCC to investigate whether Verizon violated federal privacy law. For its part, Verizon says it does comply with lawful subpoenas and court orders. Good news for Coffee County residents. Repairs on a leaking water valve are now complete, and water supply is improving for customers of Duck River Utility. That's according to a text message received by customers last night. Now, that commission is asking residents, though, to continue conserving water to allow the system to refill storage tanks and to stabilize operations. Prior to that repair, the utility warned of a complete water system failure. An amazing ending to what could have been a catastrophic plane crash.
Scary landing for a small plane in Gainesville, Georgia, right after takeoff engine issues cropped up, and both of the pilots on board realized they wouldn't be able to make it back to the airport. One radioing this emotional message.
Please tell my wife, Molly, I love her, and my parents.
That captured by liveatc.net. The plane setting down on a busy road, hitting three vehicles. Its fuel tank popped off and flew through the rear window of one of them, but officials say no one, believe it or not, was seriously hurt. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 9:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get that at betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. The YouTube chat is always jumping. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. Appreciate you guys doing that. Getting in there, hitting like, hitting subscribe. It helps the radio station. It helps all of us grow in the digital footprint. If you're listening on a digital platform, there is a share button, and we ask that you hit that as well. We ask a lot of you guys, not lying, but we hope you do it. We're talking about the Epstein files. You're welcome to chime in, 615-737-9986. I thought that as soon as I brought this document that Donald Trump reached out to the Palm Beach Police Department, I thought we were going to get calls from all of the black pill doomers who say that Donald Trump is complicit. We haven't gotten any of those calls yet.
I've actually seen quite the opposite in the text line.
That's weird. If you want to see the file, I'm happy to text you the link, 615-737-9986. Elon Musk yesterday saying that he will help and support any of the victims with lawsuits if they want to start naming names. And he's also he's going hard. He said about an hour ago, most of the child victims were turned into traffickers themselves by Epstein after age 18. By making them commit a crime with Epstein ensured their silence more than any NDA possibly could. They should be offered amnesties in order to testify. And that was in response to a question of, I don't understand why the Epstein victims won't name names. And that's a big question, because we see this commercial on the Super Bowl, and there's all the Epstein victims out there, but none of them are naming names. They're just not. And a lot of times this is covered by that NDA disclosure, but I think that's bovine scatology. And if you really want justice, you need to get out there and you need to get loud if you're a victim of Epstein. That being said, I'm not in their shoes, and I don't know what they're going through, and I'll give them a little bit of grace. Ghislaine Maxwell, on the other hand, no grace coming. She wants clemency. She said that she has the ability to clear both Trump and Clinton if they grant her clemency. A lot of people are like, well, does this mean that neither of them did anything wrong? And I said, at least to me, I would say this means that she's willing to lie for her freedom. And if you're sitting in a jail cell on a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking, would you be willing to lie to get out of jail? Probably. I think if I was sitting in jail for 20 years for anything, I'd be willing to lie to get out of jail. Would you not? I mean, let's be perfectly honest. We're all humans. Nobody wants to sit in a jail cell. But this is the story. New York Post posted it, and a lot of the left-wing outlets are running with this, and they're omitting Clinton's name from the headline. But just so you know, she did offer it to both. I don't understand how both can be true at the same time. But I could be wrong too. I could absolutely be wrong. They could both be guilty. They could both be innocent. I don't know. I'm just looking at things and trying to deduce what I can from it. Convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell told Congress on Monday she'll clear both President Trump and former President Bill Clinton in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal once she's sprung from prison. Maxwell, 64, opted to invoke her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination during a deposition before the powerful House Oversight Committee when she appeared virtually from a federal prison camp. She answered no questions about Epstein's sick sex acts with underage girls and the powerful men who were complicit in his crime. But Maxwell's lawyer, David Oscar Marcus, told lawmakers, she'd start talking if Trump grants her clemency. Both President Trump and President Clinton are innocent of any wrongdoing, Marcus said in a statement later posted to X. Miss Maxwell alone can explain why, and the public is entitled to that explanation. On my advice, Ghislaine Maxwell respectfully invoked her Fifth Amendment right to silence and declined to answer questions today, even though she would very much like to answer your questions. She would very much like to. Very, very much. I don't know if that's the case. I think she's had plenty of time to answer questions. This is how the deposition sounded yesterday.
Ms. Maxwell, were you a close friend and confidant of Jeffrey Epstein?
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions. My habeas petition is pending in the Southern District of New York. I therefore invoke my right to silence under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
She went full Dave Chappelle. I like all the amendments, 1, 2, 3, 4, but my favorite is the fifth, and that's what she did. Scott in Brentwood wants to talk about Epstein. What's up, Scott? Welcome to the show.
Hey, I got a couple of questions. I've been hearing about all this Epstein stuff, and you say these girls were underage. I don't know how young they were, but the younger ones that's under, like, minors, where were their parents at?
Yeah, I mean this is a question that comes up quite a bit. And I mean, I don't have a good answer for you. All I have is speculation, right? And what I would speculate is something that we've learned about predators all the time. You know what keeps predators away from your kids? Strong families and strong parents. So a lot of these, I would imagine a lot of these victims are from broken homes, absent fathers, maybe drug addicted parents. And again, I'm just speculating, and this is just based on what I've seen and interview after interview, documentary after documentary when it comes to predators, not just child predators, but predators in general, that they're not going after the strong families. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, did any of these girls ever go to Epstein when they were talked into doing this weird stuff with these older guys? Did they ever go to Epstein and say, I want to go home?
I don't have that information in front of me. I'm sure it's happened on a couple occasions, but I don't have specific examples.
Okay, I mean, that's all I want to know. I mean, I don't understand where these parents are at. You know, who would let their child go to an island with somebody that, I mean, I don't understand that. So. Yeah.
Well, and I'm 100% with you. You know, I'm a dad. I got 4 kids. There's no, you're not going to anyone's island. I don't care. The answer would be no. But I don't think that I would be the target of that. You know, I pray that we wouldn't be the target of something like that. But you know, because we're active in their lives, right? Like we're paying attention to the minutia and like, you know, almost helicopter-esque, right? But that's few and far between, right? There are parents out there who are just completely absent, whether it's drugs, whether it's, you know, their own issues going on, abusive situations. There's all sorts of examples as to why a parent wouldn't be on the up with what's going on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's all I had.
Hey, all right. Appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. If you want to join the conversation, 615-737-9986. I played you that audio from Ghislaine Maxwell. She pleaded the fifth. James Comer wasn't exactly impressed with that.
As expected, Ghislaine Maxwell took the fifth and refused to answer any questions. This obviously is very disappointing. We had many questions to ask about the crimes she and Epstein committed, as well as questions about potential co-conspirators. We sincerely want to get to the truth of the American people and justice for the survivors. That's what this investigation is about.
That's James Comer after the deposition. I don't dislike James Comer. I don't think he actually does anything. Like nothing. You never see any fruit from James Comer's investigations. We've never seen any fruit from the Biden crime family. And so I don't have a lot of faith in James Comer. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I think maybe he means well. Maybe he gets roadblocked. I don't know what happens. But we never see anything from James Comer. That being said, if you want to know about the co-conspirators, I would talk to the FBI and the DOJ. Because there's emails out there that say the FBI, this is from March of 2025, when they were going through and redacting everything, that they were talking about, okay, we got to redact former presidents and secretaries of states and all of these high-profile individuals. They know who was in there. They know who was either blackmailed, compromised, involved. They know who the co-conspirators were. They're just not telling us. Ultimately, that is going to fall at the feet of Donald Trump. It just will. That's the harsh reality of it. The buck stops with Trump. And Donald Trump needs to put the pressure on the DOJ and the FBI to name these co-conspirators and get them in silver bracelets. And we, the people, need to demand accountability from the FBI and the DOJ. But Donald Trump is not sitting there with a black marker redacting 3 million documents himself. He is only going to know what he's told. much like all of us, right? And we can do digs and we can look in for information, but this is the reality of the situation. At the end of the day, it will fall at Donald Trump's feet if we don't see any arrests. Brian on the road, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Brian?
Hey, brother, it's disturbing that somebody's keeping this information secret, but I don't really care to know. I just want the police to go get the people that did it, prosecute them, put them in jail for a long time. I think even Oprah Winfrey one time said sexual predators cannot be rehabbed. I think we run her back, even though I don't agree with her at all. I think, one thing that'll solve a lot of this is strong daddies. I've got 2 boys and a son-in-law, and I'm constantly telling them to get on your knees to Jesus, but raise your hand if somebody tries to come at your family.
Yep.
Don't be afraid, because that fear of reprisal, either from the justice system or the person doing the crime, sometimes takes over, and I get it. But, we say all the time, I think you've said this, I die for my children and my wife. I mean, we say that, and when it comes down to it, I hope we do. But I think about it a lot, and you got to get yourself ready. It doesn't happen in a moment. And these young ladies, I've said before, I've called in before on this, some of them, 17 years old, 16 years old, they know better. They knew what they were doing. And I don't know if you can draw a line in the sand at 18. So that's my thought.
Yeah.
I think it's a daddy problem. I think it's a daddy problem for half the crap we got going on in this world today.
Yep. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't mean to be sexist. I don't. I know you have a strong wife. I have a strong wife. I have a strong daughter. And
but we can both honestly say how different those kids' lives would look if you or I weren't in the picture.
100%.
That's not a negative, and I know the lives would look completely different if mom wasn't in the picture. But you've seen how many interviews with child predators say the first thing they look for is, do they have a strong dad in the house? And if they don't, then that's a target. That's immediately a target.
Wow. Well, that's what they do. They're cowards.
Yep.
And that's what cowards do. They prey on the innocent and the feeble and all that. That's why we've seen over and over and over, and not just in New York City, but in Chicago and some of the bigger, Washington, D.C., people be beating the crap out of an old person or somebody, and they step over them. You know what I say? I say Jason Aldean, baby. Try that in a small town.
Yep. I'm with you, Brian.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate the call. Let's go to Chris in Watertown. What's up, Chris? How are you?
Hey, man, doing well. I just wanted to touch base kind of what I guess the last 2 people before me were talking about, where, it was kind of like these underage girls might need to make a better decision. Are we not under the assumption that at least portions of these are abductions and kidnappings as well? I'm all about children making good, strong decisions. I've got 2 boys myself, but I mean, even a 15, 16-year-old, it's still a child to me.
Yep.
And you hear about all the stories where people are, their kids are on a game or something online, and they go and meet somebody, unfortunately, and they're gone, right? Am I under the wrong assumption that at least part of these have got to be in some way, shape, or form abductions and kidnappings?
I mean, I'm sure that there was some of that, and I'm sure a lot of it was grooming. To your point as well. I mean, I think that both of these things can be true.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
when
you're far
I hear
off.
more about it, and I guess it's just my personal assumption is that I'm assuming some form of child kidnapping and abduction is more of the case instead of you've just got say possibly a 16, 17-year-old girl who decides she wants to go to an island or something. It's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around. Again, I'm speculating also. Maybe I don't know, but that's just my take.
Yeah.
And I would hate to put a lot more responsibility towards a 15 or 16-year-old child as far as making a good decision, as far as, just labeling. That's a kidnapping, abduction, hang them, castrate them publicly, be done with it.
Yep, I'm with you, brother, and I hear you. I think that's the only way to make sure that they don't reoffend. That being said, we do need to get them through trial, innocent until proven guilty. But a lot of people are against the death penalty. I'm for an expansion of the death penalty, and I think child abusers and rapists can go right up to the top of the list. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store. Like a lot of people, the Glock store lost power when that ice storm rolled through, but they're back. And the Glock store is lighting it up now with some incredible deals for their great ice storm of 2026 sale. Glock GTL2 weapon lights for less than $155, 43X magazines for under $19, the Savior Specialist range bags and the limited edition Desert Night and Tiger Stripe camo. They're in stock and on sale, and there's so much more. You can head to the store. Lights are on. You can browse the showroom. You can book a session at shoot270.com. Get your training in. Now, I know you're probably missing the Shoot 270 rooms when they're shut down, but they're back up and running. This is the best place to train. That's where we all train here at Super Talk. And when you pre-order that new Gen 6 Glock, because you're going to go down there, you're going to check out the new Gen 6 Glock. You're going to fall in love with it. When you pre-order that new Glock, mention my name, and you'll get a free extra magazine when you pick it up. That's my friends at the Glock store. Powered up, ready for business, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com.
Up ahead, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick comes clean on his friendship and business dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. It's coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom, 9:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I got a text here, 5265, said, what does it mean to be groomed? It's like, it starts with a massage, and you get them used to that. And then it's a massage with, a little bit more touching. You get them used to that, and then it's full-on prostitution. It's you're tearing your way to what you eventually want the goal to be. Happens a lot with children who undergo sex changes. You'll see them get groomed online. And oh man, you would look great if you had shorter hair. You don't feel comfortable in your body. Maybe you weren't in the right body, and then. It starts with the hair, and then it's, oh, wow, you look great. You look awesome. Man, imagine how good you look with some testosterone, and then it goes on and on and on. It's incremental steps to getting to where you want them to be. It's grooming. That being said, we want to talk about other stuff, but I got this clip from Lauren Boebert. She was asked about the unredacted Epstein files after seeing them last night, and she had a few words for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Congresswoman, are you among the members who got to see the unredacted files today?
Yes, I saw some of them, not all of them, obviously. I'll be going back tomorrow to see more.
Any reaction on what you've seen so far?
I think that there's folks who are definitely implicated and co-conspirators. And, I don't think everyone there that was talking about underage girls being trafficked are victims.
Got it. And do you support any clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell? She was saying that she
I do not. Okay. I think Ghislaine Maxwell should get more time, and she should definitely be in a harsher prison than what she's in.
Absolutely. Lauren Boebert's 100% right. Say what you will about Thomas Massey. He's been on the front lines of this as well, echoing a lot of the same sentiment from Lauren Boebert. Thomas Massey also named influential billionaire Les Wexner as a redacted alleged co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein in the Epstein files. All these guys that are looking at this stuff, just start spilling the beans. You'll be heroes. Heroes. On the way, we got a lot more to talk about, and I want to talk. What do we want to talk about? We got some stuff on immigration and the SAVE Act that we got to dive into. Acting Director of ICE, Todd Lyons, he's testifying right now over amid the backlash on enforcement tactics. We'll bring you some of that audio on the way as well. A lot to get to, a little bit of time. You're welcome to join the show, 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. New revelations from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He's testifying before the Senate Appropriations Committee this morning. Now says he did have more interactions with Jeffrey Epstein.
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children. And we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife.
The two men also had business dealings as recently as 2014, according to CBS News. Lutnick is facing calls to resign following the release of records showing that his business and personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein were more extensive than previously known. Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, didn't answer any of the questions from a congressional committee yesterday.
New video showing Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, refusing to answer questions from lawmakers, pleading the Fifth.
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Maxwell appearing virtually before the House Oversight Committee from a Texas prison, where she's serving a 20-year sentence for trafficking minors to Epstein.
That's ABC's Rachel Scott. There is another fight against the Tennessee Valley Authority that's heating up. This time, a small centuries-old farm is fighting against a plan the TVA has to build power lines on a portion of the Gregory family farm in Gallatin. That family tells News 2 that it would ruin their land, about 8 acres of it.
This area right here, Me and my sister played here when we were children. I'm certain somebody before us played here as children as well. This, in my opinion, one of the best areas on the place. And all this vegetation and trees you see will be no more.
The TVA says it does work with landowners, and it's holding an open house for feedback on their planned project in May. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell says he has directed Metro Water Service to offer a credit on water bills, to not charge late fees, and to forego disconnects for now. Nashville Electric Service, he says, will offer customers unlimited payment arrangements through December. NES has also donated $1 million to the Winter Storm Recovery Fund. And ride-hailing company Lyft is making some changes to catch up with Uber.
Lyft says it will now offer rides for teens ages 13 through 17 in 200 cities across the country. Here's how this works. Only parents and legal guardians with verified accounts can add their child to their Lyft profile. Parents or teens can book the ride. Your child is going to have to show a PIN number on their app that matches the driver's PIN before the ride starts, and parents will get a text with a link to track that trip.
That's ABC's Elizabeth Schultze. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV, back up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. We got a lot to get to. Only a little bit of time. Only a little bit. We got to talk about the SAVE Act. But first, let's talk about immigration enforcement. Did you see what the new push is on TikTok from the left? They want people to apply to ICE, get a job with ICE, and then attack ICE agents from the inside.
Hey, does anybody want to join ICE with me and take them out from the inside? What? What'd you say? I just need more money, so take them out from the inside. What?
Weird. Would that shock you? It wouldn't shock me. Leftists are lunatics. Also, a federal judge has just blocked California's new law to ban ICE agents from wearing masks in the state. Good. And before the left loses their mind, it was a Clinton appointee, and he argued that the new law violates the supremacy clause of the United States Constitution and says it singles out federal agents, which ultimately discriminates against them. Bill Malugin had the report last night on Fox News.
Within just the last hour or so, we've learned that a federal judge based in Los Angeles has just blocked the state of California from enforcing its new law, which sought to ban ICE agents from wearing masks in the state. The judge, who is a Clinton appointee, argued that that new law violates the supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution, and it singles out federal agents, which ultimately discriminates against them.
Good. Sorry. Masks will continue until illegal aliens are removed. And they're only going to continue because these leftists are lunatics, like referenced in the clip before. They want to bring violence to these ICE agents. They want to dox them. They want to make them fearful. And we're not going to allow that. A federal judge, Clinton appointee, said, no. That's not how this works. It's not how it works. Isn't it hilarious how much the left wanted us to wear masks just a few years ago, and now they're very anti-mask? It's poetry, actually. Google workers want the company to cut ties with ICE. Interesting. 900 Google employees signed a letter demanding the internet giant cut ties with ICE. Breitbart has the story. More than 900 Google employees have signed an open letter calling on the tech giant to sever its business relationships with U.S. ICE and Customs Enforcement and Customs and Border Protection. CNBC reports that a group of over 900 Google employees has publicly condemned the company's partnership with federal immigration enforcement agencies, demanding full disclosure of contracts and complete divestment from these relationships. The open letter, circulated among staff, comes amid growing concerns about the role technology companies play in supporting government immigration operations. It's like you're not allowed to work with anybody. ICE needs to be on an island. They can't look at IRS data. They can't use the internet. No. Yeah, this is insane. The letter says Google workers are appalled by the violence and horrified by Google's involvement in ICE operations. I wonder how appalled these Google employees were when a leftist lunatic climbed to the top of a building in Dallas and started shooting at ICE agents. I wonder how, if they're appalled by violence. I wonder how appalled they were at the ambush at the Prairieland facility in Texas. I wonder how appalled they are when they're lighting fires, throwing bricks, throwing ice blocks at ICE agents in Chicago, Minnesota, New York, Los Angeles, on and on and on. No, they're only outraged by what the TV tells them to be outraged by. Got it. How's ICE doing? Pretty good. The letter says, according to the letter, Google Cloud is currently supporting CBP surveillance operations and powering Palantir's Immigration OS system, which ICE uses for its operations. The employees also point out that Google's generative AI technology is being utilized by CBP, while noting that the Google Play Store has blocked applications designed to track ICE activities, like IceBlock. We've talked about that app ad nauseum. It should be blocked. You're putting law enforcement officers' lives in danger. And if you need further examples, I can repeat the ones I just gave you. The letter invokes a statement from Google chief scientist Jeff Dean, who wrote on social media early in January that we all bear a collective responsibility to speak up and not be silent when we see things like the events of last week. The employee argues this responsibility extends to opposing the company's partnership with the Department of Homeland Security, CBP, and ICE. You got to speak up, guys. But Google was alarmingly quiet when Laken Riley was murdered, Jocelyn Nungaray was murdered, Rachel Marin was murdered. I mean, we can go down the list. Hundreds, thousands of lives just lost because of the open border policy. Did you hear any Google employees speaking up? It's their duty, right? It's their moral duty. They bear a collective responsibility to speak up when they see things. I didn't see them adhering to that moral responsibility during the wide open border under Joe Biden. Weird. Did they speak up when Tren de Aragua took over apartment complexes? Did I miss it? Maybe they did. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe they spoke up. It's insane. We are vehemently opposed to Google's partnership with DHS, CBP, and ICE, the employees wrote in their letter. We consider it our leadership's ethical and policy-bound responsibility to disclose all contracts in collaboration with CBP and ICE and to divest from these partnerships. The document outlines several specific demands for Google leadership. First, they want the company to publicly acknowledge the dangers that workers face from ICE. What danger? What danger? Then they're calling for an emergency internal question and answer session focused specifically on Google's contracts with DHS and military organizations. The letter also requests implementation of safety measures to protect employees, including flexible work-from-home policies and immigration support services. Are they self-reporting? Is there a bunch of illegal aliens working at Google? Maybe. Additionally, the signatories demand transparency regarding all existing ties between Google and the government agencies in question, arguing that full disclosure would help stakeholders understand where the company draws ethical boundaries in its business relationships. As workers of conscience, we demand that our leadership end our backslide into contracting for government enacting violence against civilians. Got it. Never mind the fact that Alex Preddy was a lunatic. Never mind the fact that Renee Nicole Good slammed her car into an ICE agent. Got it. They closed the letter by saying, we must use this moment to come together as a Googler community and demand an end to this disgraceful use of our labor. Okay. Does anybody use Google anymore? I try not to. Sometimes I do it as default, especially here at work. But when I'm on my phone, I'm using the Brave browser. We're going DuckDuckGo. And same with the personal computer. Why are we using Google still? It's not the CEOs. It's these employees, these unhinged leftists, and they are all unhinged leftists. I lived in Pittsburgh for a while. They got a big Google building there, and yeah, it's the usual suspects working at Google. The hair, the glasses, you can spot them from a mile away. Insanity. Please stop working with them. How about no? How about no? Hey, got an update for you on illegal alien truckers. And this is, I don't know. I saw the update and I was like, I felt underwhelmed. And I'll tell you why I felt underwhelmed. We had our friend Danielle Chaffin in here. She is a trucking expert. The interview was phenomenal. We've had her on the show a couple times. And the interview is available on the YouTube page if you haven't heard it. But she told me, and this is from her research, her expertise, her base of knowledge, that there are hundreds of thousands of illegal alien truckers in the United States of America. Right? I'm not misquoting her. It was hundreds of thousands. So the U.S. Department of Transportation drops this headline, and they're acting like it's a huge win. But based on my earlier conversation with Danielle, I'm like, is it though? Is it really a huge win? Here's the headline. Trump's Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy's Operation Safe Drive results in removal of nearly 2,000 unqualified truckers from American roads and arrests. 2,000. That is peeing in the ocean if you believe what Danielle Chaffin said. I happen to believe what Danielle Chaffin said. That's peeing in the ocean. 2,000 out of hundreds of thousands. This is how they say it. This is the story. Operation Safe Drive conducted thousands of inspections across 26 states, resulting in the removal of thousands of unqualified truckers. Washington, D.C., U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy today announced that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and state law enforcement partnered to execute the first wave of Operation Safe Drive, a high-visibility, multi-state enforcement and education effort focused on reducing dangerous driving behaviors, ensuring drivers are properly qualified, and addressing unsafe drivers and vehicles on the nation's roadways. During the 3-day effort, again, 3 days? That's it? 3 days? During the 3-day effort, the FMCSA inspectors and law enforcement partners in 26 states in the District of Columbia carried out targeted enforcement operations along major freight corridors and other high-risk locations that resulted in nearly 2,000 unqualified truckers and vehicles being removed from American roads. These activities resulted in 8,200 inspections, 704 drivers placed out of service, including nearly 500 for English proficiency violations, 1,231 vehicles placed out of service, 56 arrests, including DUI and illegal presence in the U.S. They say Operation Safe Drive shows what happens when we work together with our law enforcement partners to pull unqualified drivers and vehicles off of American roads. Good start, I guess. Good start. Good start. I don't know. I've been absolutely red-pilled by our friend Danielle, who is worth the follow if you are keeping up. I know we have a large trucker audience in the Super Talk universe, and if you're not following Danielle on X, you should. It's at maybe Danielle with 3 E's. Maybe Danielle. She is the source when it comes to illegal alien trucking, and I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot more from Danielle very soon. But I see this operation, and it's like it looks good on the surface. But is it that good? Is it that good? Here are the states that they operated in: Alabama, Arkansas, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia. We need more of this. We need an overwhelming amount of this. Too many Americans are losing their lives on the roadways because of illegal alien truckers. It's like every other day you're hearing another horrific story. And not to mention just like the nail-biting nature of having an 18-wheeler behind you now, especially when you're in stop-and-go traffic on a highway like 24. You're like, is this guy going to stop? Is this guy going to stop, or should I switch lanes? You know what I do? I switch lanes. I think you should switch lanes too. Trucks don't get in the left lane. That's where you can find me. I'll tell you what. And I got another one here. This is a wild story from NBC. They're pushing fake news. I know you're shocked. NBC is pushing fake news. We're up against it, so I'm gonna read you the headline, then we'll dive into the story on the way. This is the headline from NBC. Toddler hospitalized with respiratory failure was returned to ICE detention and denied prescription medication, lawsuit says. That's the headline. It is emotionally grabbing, and it throws the leftists into an absolute tizzy. Toddler hospitalized with respiratory failure was returned to ICE detention and denied prescribed medication, lawsuit says. 18-month-old was sent back to a South Texas facility after days in intensive care with severe respiratory distress, according to the federal lawsuit. That's the headline. That's not the reality. We'll dive into the reality on the way. It's 10:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Better Water LLC. I love these guys. We talk about them all the time. They're a great sponsor of the show. But the best thing that they do is they get the junk out of your water. You're probably drinking some junk. You're probably bathing in some junk, and you don't even know it. Here's the best part. Better Water is going to come to your house and test your water for free. If your water is great, they're going to tell you. If your water is nasty and you got stuff like sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, or E. coli in your water, well, this is where Better Water comes in. It's their expertise. They offer a range of options to clean that junk out of your water. Reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights. Better Water has an option depending on what you need. Local company based out of Smyrna. They're already treating the water at the hospitals around town and at the local coffee shops. You probably already tasted their work and you didn't even know it. These guys are the best. It's time for you to stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Give Better Water a call today and say, hey, can you guys roll through and just test my water? At least give yourself that peace of mind. And if you need some help cleaning it up, Better Water's the company to do it. 615-355-6063, 615-355-6063, or you can always find them online, betterwater.com.
Coming up, why search crews are combing a portion of the Cumberland River. That's coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. You still under the weather? You had the Super Bowl flu.
Just a little bit.
It was crazy yesterday, man. You and Ken Weaver were out with the Super Bowl flu.
Oh, yeah?
Is Ken back today, or is he really trying to make the argument that he was sick?
That he was sick. Big sick.
Jay Harper was saying that he couldn't get the guac out of his beard, and that was the issue. Listen, I'm just doing the news, boys.
Just saying, if Ken comes in with a green-dyed beard, we know why.
He goes full Grinch.
Full Grinch.
You never go full Grinch. NBC News went full Grinch. You like that transition? They're lying. Toddler hospitalized with respiratory failure was returned to ICE detention and denied prescribed medication, lawsuit says. The 18-month-old was sent back to a South Texas facility after days in intensive care with severe respiratory distress, according to a federal lawsuit. This is from NBC. An 18-month-old baby held here with her parents at a South Texas Immigration Detention Center became so ill last month that she was rushed to a hospital with life-threatening respiratory failure. Then sent back to detention days later, where she was denied daily medication doctors prescribed, according to a federal lawsuit filed Friday. The toddler, Amelia, remained in detention for another 9 days and was released only after lawyers filed an emergency habeas corpus petition in federal court challenging her continued confinement. She was freed Friday after the filing. Okay. So they're evil, right? The Nazis, the Gestapo, ICE, CBP, DHS, Trump, they're all evil, right? Everybody just wants, they don't care about this little baby. They're losing their minds. Now, never mind the fact that there's probably some questions on who paid for that health care for the baby. And I have a feeling it wasn't the illegal alien family. I have a feeling it was the taxpayer. But I digress. Homeland Security posted this link and said this entire story is a lie. We provided comprehensive medical care from the moment an alien enters ICE custody. This includes medical, dental, mental health intake screening within 12 hours of arriving at each detention facility, a full health assessment within 14 days, and access to medical appointments and 24-hour emergency care. Candidly, this is the best health care many aliens have received in their entire lives. On December 9th, 2025, ICE took Kaylin Valero Marcano, Steven Arida Preto, and their daughter, Amelia Areto Valero, into custody, and they were detained at the Dilley facility that is retrofitted for families. During their time in detention, the baby became ill with a respiratory illness. She immediately received proper medical care and was admitted to the Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, Texas for treatment. She remained in the hospital for 8 days before being cleared for release by a pediatric doctor and returned to the Dilley facility, where she was in the medical unit and received proper treatment and prescribed medicines. So NBC got some explaining to do. Are you shocked that NBC lied? I'm not shocked NBC lied. They've been better recently. I mean, you heard them in the Trump interview. They haven't been terrible, but this is emotional propaganda at its best, and they lead with what was filed in the lawsuit rather than the facts. Also, Homeland Security added, being in detention is a choice. We encourage all parents to take control of their departure with the CBP Home app to receive $2,600 and a free flight to self-deport. Boom. Mic drop moment. You don't have to be in detention. You do understand that, right? If you're an illegal alien and you're in a detention facility right now and you're like, oh, the humanity. Why am I in this detention facility with my wife and my children? You don't have to be. You are free to leave at any time. In fact, the United States government will pay you to do so. It's actually more cost effective on our side than housing, feeding, and taking care of you, as DHS said, giving you the best medical treatment that you've probably had in your entire life. It's a lot easier for you to go home. If you want to complain and cry and moan, you're welcome to leave, and you can get $2,600 on the way out. Another fake news story busted by a bit of facts. It's crazy how that always happens. 10:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Crews are searching the Cumberland River in Smith County. They're hoping to find a person who reportedly jumped into the river while fleeing police. This happened this morning. They report seeing that person go under the water. News 2 reports search and recovery efforts underway near the Carthage boat ramp right now. The FBI says there is no credible threat to the public in Springfield, Ohio, following bomb threats on Monday that targeted the Haitian community in Springfield and sent folks in schools and county offices home. Here's Governor Mike DeWine.
Law enforcement has to take this very, very seriously. This is a despicable act. It's caused kids to miss a whole day of school today.
However, in Columbus, Ohio, officials there say bomb threats did not involve any mention of Haitians. You remember in September of 24 as well that similar bomb threats were made, but they were determined to have come from overseas. Former CBS investigative journalist Catherine Herridge is out with a bombshell revelation. She says CBS executives deliberately buried the Hunter Biden laptop story and ordered her to wait until after the 2022 midterm elections in order to help the Democrats.
When we did the story, we did it after the midterms. I argued against that because it was ready before the midterms. And my training is that you should always do the story when it's ready to go. You should not be dictated by the political cycle.
She also says she wanted to expand that story, but was shot down on that too. Now, I've posted that video to my X account, so you can watch it as well. Find me on X at Joan Jones WTN. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You are running out of time, my friends, to take advantage of their Valentine's Day giveaway. Busy Bee is always doing something cool. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And if you sign up to become a Beehive Club member this week, you could be winning the ultimate Valentine's Day sweetheart deal. One winner is getting a relaxing couples massage and spa package from Third Coast Salt, plus a $100 Visa gift card for a legit dinner date. Not bad. They're doing the live drawing on Friday, February 13th on Facebook Live. So go over there, hit like on their Facebook page, and make sure you keep an eye out for that. And while we're at it, Tennessee Weather does what Tennessee Weather does. Busy Bee is backing you up with some serious savings to protect your home, like 40% off a whole home surge protector with repairs, $500 off select whole home water repipes, and the one everybody knows, the 93 are free main line clog deal. If they can't clear it, you don't pay. It's that simple. Don't wait. Give Busy Bee a call today, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
Does your home or business have a leaking roof? Don't assume you have to replace it. At Tinley Roofing, we will assess your roof for a roof repair first. Could save you thousands of dollars and extend the life of your roof 3 to 5 years. Don't let the other contractors treat you like an ATM machine. Visit us at timleaperroofing.com and schedule your appointment today.
We've got you covered. Tim Leeper Roofing.
I'm WSMV4 First Alert Meteorologist Stefano DiPietro. It's warm again today. Temperatures in the low to mid-70s this afternoon. We'll have more cloud cover that mixes in, but we'll stay dry with a gusty wind up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. Rain does move in overnight tonight into very early tomorrow morning. We're down to the 40s for the overnight low. Most of the rain done by the morning commute tomorrow. The afternoon is cooler. We'll get some sunshine back, but we will stay in the 50s. We're in the 50s Thursday and Friday as well. Then get ready for more rain for the upcoming weekend.
It's 10:36. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. So earlier in the show, we were talking about the Epstein files, and there's a new one that has been making the rounds, and I've been sending people the link to it, right? And it was Donald Trump in 2006 talking to Palm Beach Police Department, saying, "I'm so glad you're investigating this guy. He's the worst, and you got to go after Ghislaine Maxwell. She's his operative. She is evil." And a lot of people asked for the link, and I was sending the link out because I think that matters. When people are making these claims, especially on the internet with Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, a lot of this stuff is ginned up. A lot of this stuff is fake for clicks. There's 3 million documents. It's hard to verify. So I think one of the ways that you need to verify is you need to ask for the source link to the DOJ file. So I was trying to do that and do my due diligence. I had a lot of people texting for the link. Here's the thing. Our text platform, for some reason, was removing a very important portion of the link, %20. It was dataset %209. That was, but it was instead sending a link that said dataset space 9. So if you had asked for that link and I sent it to you and it's not working, I've been like racking my head trying to figure this out for like the last 20 minutes. And I finally realized what's going on. For some reason, we use the TextGroove platform. I don't know if anybody uses it, right? TextGroove.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's removing %20, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It doesn't make any sense. But I will send you the link, and I will absolutely give you the instructions on how to correct it when that's sent out. I'll also I'll tweet it out as well in case that's a little bit easier for you, at Chris Hand on Air. At Chris Hand on Air. Let me do that. I'm gonna do that post right now. So that way it's out there for you guys so you can find it. Links matter, especially with these Epstein files. Diving into it, not just relying on confirmation bias, matters, especially with these Epstein files. And I think that facts matter. So happy to share this stuff with you, and we appreciate you giving us a little patience, a little grace, because that's just a weird thing. I don't know why that was doing that. Why would it remove %20? Anybody have any idea? So weird.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right, so I'll get it out there. Somebody said, not an expert, but I believe %20 is a way of typing space in a URL when it comes to talking computer language. There it is. There it is. It's above my pay grade. I usually with me and computers, my expertise goes to, why aren't you working? And then that's kind of where I fall off. It either works or it doesn't, and then I got to ask somebody a question. That's what was happening on our text platform. I'll send you an updated link. I'll also tweet it out here momentarily, at Chris Hand on Air. Somebody 0323. I haven't heard you say anything about Jeffrey being alive and perhaps being spotted. Show starts at 9. So I actually did. I talked about the Fortnite account that people are claiming was still active. I also talked about the decoy body that was released, that file was released, that somebody from the FBI, they had one body, the Epstein body, going to a black van, but they had a decoy body which was made out of boxes, and that went into a white van, and the media chased the white van. So we did talk about it. I don't know if Jeffrey Epstein's alive. I'm assuming he's dead, but I've seen the pictures floating around there where he's got the long hair and the beard, and people are like, "That's Epstein." Maybe it's just AI generated. I have no idea. Again, consider the source and make sure you track it down to the original. That way you know exactly what you're looking at, because you don't know. I mean, with Instagram and TikTok, 3 million files, people are pushing all sorts of wacky stuff. So just make sure you can trace it right back to the Epstein files. And if you're seeing those images, do yourself a favor and take it with a grain of salt until it's corroborated. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm open to it being true. And I wouldn't necessarily be stunned if Jeffrey Epstein was still alive. You have that much dirt on that many high power people. I think that's definitely within the realm of possibility. The Fortnite stuff is definitely crazy. I mean, what was it? I don't play Fortnite. Do you play Fortnite, Mason? You ever play Fortnite?
I used to play some a lot with my brothers.
So Chapter 6, is that a thing? When did that come out? It was after his death, is essentially what people are saying. And there's an Epstein file where it confirms that he was playing Fortnite because he bought some VC on the video game. And then there's a username called Little Saint Jeff that was playing. It was playing Chapter 6, which came out after his death. If you track it on the Fortnite site, 2024. So if you track it on the Fortnite site, there's that. There's no emails that say his username on Fortnite was Little Saint Jeff. However, there's an email that shows he had an email that was Little Saint Jeff at, I think it was gmail.com.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've seen on it is that there's a possibility that the email is still connected to an account of a kid that was on the island. So he brought kid over. Kid wanted to play Fortnite while he groomed them, made an account for him on Fortnite, and the account just so happens to still be attached to that email.
Interesting.
I've also seen some of those files have been AI, so I don't know which ones to believe and which ones
this is
not,
and this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with in 2026.
It's nuts.
And it's like the most crazy, salacious claims get the most traction, get the most clicks, and take off like wildfire. And then you have this claim like that is uncorroborated, didn't go anywhere, but it's entered into the zeitgeist of the American public, and now it becomes true. Like, I think it's a lot. You see some of those signs, some of the emails, some of the posts. And it's like he was a satanic pedophile, maybe, but I think it's a lot easier to be like he was working with governments around the world, maybe even ours. The CIA, the Mossad, and he was blackmailing powerful individuals for different reasons. I mean, you see the emails with him and Ehud Barak. Like, it's hard not to say that this guy wasn't working with Israel on some level. And then we've heard the horror stories of our own CIA. So, and we know how tight he was with Clinton. Who knows? We want to get to the bottom of it. And we hope that the DOJ and the FBI does the right thing, and we start getting these co-conspirators named and tarred and feathered in the public square, and hopefully they start spilling the beans because they're all cowards, and we'll see that happen soon. I pray we do. If we don't, we can point our finger at the FBI and the DOJ, but the responsibility ultimately will fall at the feet of Donald Trump. There is no humanly possible way that Donald Trump was going through every one of those 3 million files. Donald Trump did not redact every one of those 3 million files. Donald Trump is trusting his people. That being said, when you look at FBI directors that Donald Trump has appointed, Chris Wray, and the attorney generals that have been in there, Bill Barr, you kind of go, I don't know how good your track record is on picking people. So accountability is going to fall at the feet of the president. However, I still don't believe and won't believe that President Trump was out there raping kids. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I see all your texts for the link. I'll get you that link momentarily. I'll also be tweeting it out right after we close this break at Chris Hand on Air. So keep your eyes on my Twitter account, and I'll have that posted for you as well. So that way you can see this in its entirety from the source, which is the DOJ files. In the meantime, I want to talk about the SAVE Act. We've talked about the SAVE Act ad nauseum. It seems like every Republican wants the SAVE Act to pass, except for John Thune, which is just ridiculous. It's insane. But even the moderate Democrats are calling it voter suppression. Andy Beshear, maybe you're familiar with him. Maybe you've heard of him. Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky, was on The View yesterday. He's a moderate Democrat. Make no mistake about it. And the same moderate Democrat who uses the Bible to justify vetoing a bill that would ban the genital mutilation of minors. He's a moderate. He said that the SAVE Act is it's voter suppression. It's oppressive, and this is in a state Kentucky, where you do need an ID to vote.
Voter ID is something that a large majority of Americans support. Kentucky does require voters to show an ID for federal and state elections. Where do you fall on the SAVE Act specifically?
Well, I consider myself pragmatic. I think that we can agree that election security is an important thing. But when you create policies that are so onerous, you push people out who have the right to vote, who should be able to register. And so I think on any policy, you got to look at what's reasonable.
It's not reasonable to prove you're a citizen. It's not reasonable to bring an ID. Excuse me? Excuse me? This is just, again, the bigotry of low expectations. It's insane. The House is on the way to pass the Save America Act, which is the newest installment of the SAVE Act. This would be, I think this is number 4. I think this is the 4th time that they've essentially passed this in the House.
I expect every Republican in the House to vote for the SAVE Act. This is something we've been talking about for a long time. And, I think it's particularly relevant after 4 years of Joe Biden letting in 15 million plus illegal aliens into the country. What we want to say is simply that only if you are an American citizen should you be voting in American elections. A core part of national sovereignty is the ability to determine that only our people, only the people who have full allegiance to America and its institutions should be voting. And remember that every time an illegal alien votes in American elections, that waters down or disenfranchises American citizens who should have sole representative power in this country. This is something that the vast majority of Americans agree with, and we're going to get it passed.
Not just Americans. It's like 93% of Americans, I believe, last I checked, and 71% of 71% of Democrats, 95% of Republicans. It's 80% of Americans, 71% of Democrats, 95% of Republicans. Everybody wants this. But they'll say it never happens. This stuff doesn't happen. Are you kidding me? The SAVE Act isn't going to stop anything, and it's like, oh, weird. Hey, an illegal alien just got convicted for voting in the 2024 election.
Woman in Massachusetts, a voter fraud. Prosecutors say that she also stole more than $400,000 in federal benefits. White House correspondent Aisha Hasmi reports live from the North Lawn. Hi, Aisha.
Hey there, Martha. We're talking about a 59-year-old illegal immigrant who's been in the country for years, stole someone else's identity, and then voted in the 2024 presidential election. Take a look at this photo here. This is Lina Maria Arovio Hernandez. In this picture, you can see her, Martha, wearing that I voted sticker that we all get when we go to cast our ballots. She's also convicted of stealing $400,000, as you mentioned, in benefits. She apparently used her fake identity to obtain multiple state IDs and also a passport.
But that's just one illegal alien. Also, did anybody else think when they said, oh, she was wearing the I voted sticker that everybody gets? Anybody else have visions of Matt Murphy denying the I voted sticker in their head? I did, admittedly. It's just one. It's so rare, you guys. This stuff never happens. It never happens. Oh, weird. Well, I'll see that concern. And I'll raise you this. Thousands of illegal aliens were just removed from the voter rolls in Alabama.
3,000 registered voters in Alabama just got booted from the state voter rolls. That's after the Secretary of State, Wes Allen, ordered the removal of all non-citizens who were registered. But how did non-citizens get registered in the first place? WAFF 48's Nick Ballinger spoke to the Secretary of State to get to the bottom of this story. Nick?
Yeah, Margot, when I asked Secretary Allen how these people got registered to vote in the first place, he couldn't give me a clear answer just yet, saying it was still being investigated. But when he gave me a breakdown of how many there were in each county, the numbers were glaring. This is a list from Secretary of State Wes Allen of how many non-citizens were registered to vote in our counties. The state found 3,251 people. 742 of them were from North Alabama.
We got the information. We cross-checked it against our centralized data file here in the state of Alabama and found those 3,200 individuals.
The information he's talking about are people with alien registration numbers. Those are issued to immigrants who intend to live in this country permanently and have already applied for a green card. However, you're not eligible to vote with just an alien identification number. When I asked Allen how 3,000 plus were able to register in the first place, he couldn't give me the answer.
He said, I don't know. I don't know. Weird. We got to get the SAVE Act passed. Everybody knows it. Well, everybody except the Democrats. Hakeem Jeffries, once again, finding a podium and calling it voter suppression.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. You said that the SAVE Act is not going to pass the House, but a vast majority of Americans, including 70% of Democrats, do support having voter ID requirements. So are Democrats on the wrong side of an issue with so much support? What's the path forward for Democrats here?
Republicans are clearly on the wrong side of every single issue, which is why they are getting crushed electorally. This is a desperate effort by Republicans to distract. The so-called SAVE Act is not about voter identification. It is about voter suppression.
Got it. As he pivots away from the question and moves towards the elections. And listen, to be fair, the Democrats have been winning some off-cycle elections. They have. New Orleans, Texas. They didn't win in Tennessee. Shout out to Matt Van Epps. And you know, you can debate that he could have won by more, but that's the only one that we've won since Donald Trump was elected. That's the big one. We need to get our ass in gear as we head towards midterms, and everybody knows it. The SAVE Act is going to be an important step in the right direction. It's 10:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for United Structural Systems. Something every homeowner knows, or every homeowner should know. When your foundation is compromised, nothing else feels right. A couple weeks ago now, we had the winter storm Fern. The ice came in, but it also, when it melted, brought a little bit of flooding, heavy moisture. And when that soil becomes oversaturated, it's going through that freeze-thaw cycle. Foundations are taking a hit. This is why so many homeowners can call and trust United Structural Systems. Since 1994, these guys have been helping thousands of Tennessee families repair and protect their foundations after storms. Their focus is on doing the job right the first time so you can feel confident in your home again. But USS is way more than just a foundation company. They are people who step up for the community. In March, I mean, we're almost there. It's a couple weeks away. They're going to take part in their 10th Habitat for Humanity build in Ashland City. 25 volunteers helping frame and install roof trusses for a family in need. This tells you everything you need to know about USS. If you've noticed cracks, moisture, or shifting after severe weather, don't wait. Call USS today, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, USSTN.com.
The Commerce Secretary under intense Epstein files scrutiny. That story and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I don't know, Mason. He didn't sound sick. Did he sound sick to you?
Not hearing any sick in his voice.
I didn't hear it.
I wasn't sick, boys. I was just tired.
It was you and Mason. You guys both played hooky yesterday, Ken.
That's what Mason was telling me.
Yeah, they're spreading lies that we were sick at home, Ken.
Well, I thought you and I had agreed that we were going to do that on separate days. I mean, wait a minute. I thought, it sure was a great game.
Yeah.
Now I know you're lying.
Yeah, I thought I called Monday. Ken.
Said it was a great game. You just blew. You blew it. Congratulations. You played yourself. Said it was a great game. Everybody knows that's a lie.
I know what you mean, man.
All right, so the link that I've been trying to send to you. All right, so we figured it out. Computers speak computer talk. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that.
It do, but they say it don't, but it do.
People don't think it be like it is, but it do. They be speaking computer. So people be computing.
People be texting.
And they were texting me and they were telling me that the percent sign is actually it's computer speak for space. So as I was sending this link, which said dataset %209, and I was sending it out to people, it was removing on our text platform, which is all online based. It was removing the percent and then the 2 and the 0. So it was just saying dataset space 9. So then everybody was like, link not found. And so I'm saying to people, I'm proving you, here's the link. I'll show you the link. And then the link is saying not found. It's like, perfect. Great, Chris. Great job. So we fixed it. It's on my Twitter account, @ChrisHandOnAir. Donald Trump, 2006, talking with Palm Beach Police Department, calling Epstein disgusting, calling Ghislaine Maxwell evil, and saying, thank goodness you guys are looking into him. He needs to be taken down. If you want to see the link, you can text us, 615-737-9986. I'll send you the link to the tweet, or you can just hop over to my Twitter account, @ChrisHandOnAir. I don't see anybody, I haven't seen this on CNN or MS Now or ABC or CBS or NBC yet today. Have you, Mason? No?
Nope.
But you know what else I haven't seen in quite a few days? The left using the Epstein files to bludgeon Donald Trump. Weird.
What?
Weird. They just walk away and pretend like it never happened. Interesting. We'll talk about a lot more on the way. You're welcome to join the show in any form or fashion. 615-737-9986. That's the number to call in. That's the number to text in. You also can jump in the most unhinged chat over on our YouTube page. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. Shout out to the YouTube chat. 11 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers, we got a crash on the right shoulder, 65 southbound right there at Trinity Lane. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the Secretary of Commerce facing calls mainly from Democrats to resign in the wake of revelations from the Epstein files that contradict his recent statements about the man he once lived next door to in New York. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more.
Last fall, the Commerce Secretary told an interviewer that he vowed in 2005 to never again be in the same room with his then next-door neighbor. But the Epstein files show Howard Lutnick continued to socialize with the then-convicted sex offender. At a Senate hearing, Lutnick acknowledged he had lunch on Epstein's Island in 2012.
My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies.
Lutnick insists.
I barely had anything to do with that person.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Law enforcement say they're working around the clock to try to find a lead in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. Today, host Savannah Guthrie released a social media post yesterday pleading with the public to alert law enforcement if they have any information. ABC News contributor Brad Garrett says it's unusual to not hear from Guthrie's potential captors, but also says that law enforcement is trying to use digital forensics to come up with leads.
They may also be sending tech agents or tech analysts that may have a different approach to cell phones, to cameras, and maybe even some forensic ideas. I mean, I think they're going to throw everything they can at this to see if they can come up with one piece of information and/or evidence that will give them at least a lead towards somebody.
Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell rolling out new help for people still recovering from the ice storm Fern. The new Restore Nashville campaign includes water bill credits, suspended permit fees, payment plans for those facing high utility costs. Metro Water Services won't charge late fees or disconnect service this month. NES offering unlimited payment arrangements through December. United Way has also distributed $260,000 to nonprofits to support housing, food assistance, and disaster repairs, and there's a lot more to go around. Nashville residents reporting water bills that are suddenly 2 to 5 times higher after last month's ice storm. Metro Water says small leaks or burst pipes are the most common cause of big jumps in your water use. Some bills have climbed from under $100 to nearly $600. Both Metro Water and Madison Suburban Utility District are offering leak adjustments for affected customers. And Metro Police say a man is in jail after allegedly threatening a runner with a knife at the Stones River Greenway in Donaldson. Officers say the victim was stretching when a man in a hoodie told him to, quote, run to your truck, and pulled a knife. Police later found 30-year-old Reginald Williams in a tent near the bridge wearing the same clothing described. No knife was recovered, but officers arrested Williams based on the victim's description and his past similar offense. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hands. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Need a water filtration system, need a water softener, betterwater.com. So we were talking about the link, right? And the link to the Epstein file from the DOJ that proves Donald Trump was talking to Palm Beach Police Department. And I made the comment that we got to blow this up because you're not going to see it on the mainstream media. Insert foot in mouth. You ready? ABC actually reported it. ABC reported it.
Let's go, ABC.
Congratulations, guys. You didn't suck today. Reset the counter. I feel like the Simpsons meme. Days without sucking. We're back to 0 for ABC. This is their report overnight.
This morning, a new document coming to light claims in the mid-2000s, President Trump called police about Jeffrey Epstein. Among the 3 million Epstein files released by the Department of Justice last month is a 4-page FBI report on an interview the Bureau conducted in 2019 with the man believed to be former Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Ryder. Ryder and his detectives began investigating Epstein for human trafficking in 2004. According to the document, Trump called Ryder around that time and said, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." Ryder also says Trump said he threw Epstein out of his club, and he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump got the hell out of there. The former police chief says Trump told him to focus on Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, saying she is evil.
Did you have any suspicions that he was molesting young women,
No, I had
underage
no
women?
idea. I had no idea.
Trump has long denied having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes, but Ryder says Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out that they were investigating Epstein.
Kudos to ABC. Days without sucking. We're down to 0. I imagine that counter's gonna climb back up before we know it. Don't worry. But as of today, ABC. Also on the Howard Lutnick front, Howard Lutnick needs to resign. Like it's just that's the reality of the situation. You know, he's trying to do damage control now, and I think Howard Lutnick is great at his job. He's done a good job, but you can't lie to the American people and say that you stopped having any association with Epstein and then be like, you know what? Actually, there was that time where we went to the island with my kids and we had lunch. I totally forgot about you. Forgot about that? He lied. There's no getting around that. And President Trump needs to either fire Howard Lutnick or Howard Lutnick needs to resign. Like, that's the reality of the situation. He lied 100%.
And there's a massage table in the middle of the room. And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, "Massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage?" And he says, "Every day." And then he gets weirdly close to me. And he says, "And the right kind of massage." Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, "I'm sorry, we have to go." And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Well, that's a great story, except it was just a story. That wasn't the reality, because now it's come out that he lied there. He met with Jeffrey Epstein after that. He went to the island, even started a business with Epstein. So this isn't saying that Lutnick was raping kids, right? Like, that's not the claim we're making. But he absolutely lied here. And furthermore, he didn't need to. He didn't. Is it a bad look? Yeah, it's a terrible look. And if the president has, if he wants to keep the confidence of the American people, I think he's got to fire Lutnick, or he's got to force his resignation in disgrace. Like, dude, what are you doing? You didn't have to tell that story. You didn't have to fabricate these claims. And furthermore, that's a very friendly interview with Miranda Devine from the New York Post. This is on her podcast, Pod Force One. Like, I would be willing to bet that if Lutnick had said, "Hey, no Epstein questions," that Miranda Devine would have been like, "Okay, cool. Well, we can talk about other stuff. There's plenty of other things to talk about." Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to tell that story. And now it's been proven that he was just lying through his teeth. Howard Lutnick needs to go. He does. He tried to clean it up today. He did admit that he was on the island, and he said that he was there with his kids and his wife.
In his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about
You lied, dude, and you got busted big time. You got to go. You got to go. He continued. He had more to say. Senator Chris Coons was asking about it.
But it troubles me that you took your family to lunch on his island, that you had appointments with him. Please disclose everything. Put this to rest, because this is an issue of grave concern to my constituents. President Trump ran on releasing the Epstein files.
Just to back up for a second, that's Senator Chris Coons. And Senator Chris Coons, the famous viral video where Biden creepily sniffs the 12-year-old redheaded girl's hair, and she like backs away like all disgusted, and he like kind of like grabs onto her. That was Chris Coons' daughter. So like Chris Coons in his ivory tower being like, I'm disgusted. It's like, bro, you let your own kid get sniffed by Biden, and then you ran cover for him for years. So like, miss me with your faux outrage. Like, that being said, Howard Lutnick lied to the American people, and he needs to go. But to have Chris Coons act like he is some moral authority on this is just, to quote Uncle Phil, bovine scatology. Like, dog, you let your own kid get sniffed by the resident, and you thought it was fine, like, and then you ran cover for him. But I say all that to say also Howard Lutnick needs to resign or be fired.
You said casually, well, I looked at my name and how it appeared in them, as does everyone. No, everyone isn't worried about their names being in the Epstein files. I know he was your neighbor. That was a coincidence. But please disclose everything that's relevant here so that we have a chance to work together and move on.
To the best of my memory, I met him when he moved next door to me, and I met him 2 other times in 14 years, none within 6 years of that first meeting, and then a year and a half later, and none thereafter. And in the presence of my wife, and as Senator Van Hollen said, under no circumstances is there a single word that I've done anything remotely wrong in any possible regard. I did not have anything you could call a relationship, anything you could call an acquaintance. I literally met him 3 times over 14 years with widespread in between. That's all I can remember. That's all there is in the documents.
That's all I can remember. That's all there is in the documents. Why didn't you remember that when you were talking with Miranda Devine? Nobody is suggesting that Howard Lutnick did anything wrong. Although the whole, I was there with my wife, like that seems like a cop-out. Like you're not being accused of raping kids by anyone on the right that I've seen, but you are 100% exposed as a liar in this situation. And now all of your credibility is out the window. I say it to my kids all the time. Like, it takes a long time to build up trust. Takes a fraction of a second to destroy it. Like, what are you doing? And the same goes for the Trump administration. Now you have him exposed. He lied, and he's got to go. I'm sure there's 100 other guys that can do just as great a job as Howard Lutnick. He's got to go. And if the Trump administration doesn't get rid of him at this point, like that is a huge blemish on this administration. Now, were there conversations with President Trump beforehand? Did he speak to President Trump about this when all of this got dumped? Did he own up to it? Was he truthful with the president? I mean, does that change your opinion on whether or not he should be fired? Do you think he should be fired? I do. 615-737-9986. He lied. blatantly, and he got exposed. And I think there should be accountability for that. And if you want to make it, if the Trump administration wants to be on the right side of this Epstein issue, getting rid of Howard Lutnick is a good step in the right direction. It just is. Then we need to light a fire under Pam Bondi and Kash Patel to start getting some of these names unredacted. I know Thomas Massey's doing that. I know Lauren Boebert's doing that. Rep. Ro Khanna is also doing that. And these are people that I'm not going to agree with on everything, especially Massey and Ro Khanna. But we do want the names. We know that they're there. And we want accountability, and we want arrests. We know that there were co-conspirators. We know that there's documents in those files that expose individuals. We know that the FBI was emailing in March of 2025 now that they had some big names to redact. Presidents, former presidents, U.S. secretaries of state, and more. They all need to be exposed. They do. It's the only way we're gonna ever be able to turn the page and close the chapter on this. Crazy times, man. Crazy times. Howard Lutnick, what an idiot. Just what an absolute idiot. He's got to go. He's got to go. 615-737-9986. Thomas Massey named influential billionaire Les Wexner as an alleged co-conspirator, as a redacted alleged co-conspirator in the Epstein files. He said there were at least 6 men redacted in the Epstein files, according to Massey, that we need to know. He said one of them is pretty high up in a foreign government. Which foreign government do you think it is? Which one? Massey also said that the government needs to do some more homework. There are 6 men. He said, we went in there for 2 hours, but there are millions of files. It's going to take a long time to get through all those redacted files. This was Thomas Massey yesterday after reviewing those unredacted files for 2 hours.
How much new information then did you see that was unredacted, or did it look pretty similar to what we've seen publicly?
I mean, what we're after is the men who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked women to. We want those names published. We're not out to embarrass people. And the problem is we went in there hoping to see that in 302 forms. What we found out is those 302 forms were redacted before they got to the DOJ. So, but our legislation directs the FBI, which is the agency that produced those 302 forms, to also produce these documents. The Attorney General is ultimately responsible for that production, so that's why we're here at the DOJ to view these files. But there needs to be more information given in those 302s. So I was disappointed we didn't find that. But it's also clear, just sort of as a checking their homework, that they need to do a little more homework. There are 6 men. We went in there for 2 hours. There's millions of files, right? And in a couple of hours, we found 6 men whose names have been redacted who are implicated in the way that the files are presented.
Then they need to be held accountable. And if the federal government doesn't want to do that, then a guy like Thomas Massey needs to start spilling the beans. How long is this going to go on? How long is this going to be strung out? If Massey is the hero we need, then start naming names. He did mention Les Wexner, but that was a name that it's been rumored for years that Les Wexner was involved. Everybody already knew that name was in the mix. Massey, Ro Khanna, people like Boebert, if you're going in there, you're looking at these unredacted files. If the FBI and the DOJ is not going to do it, then step up. Step up. Put the money where the mouth is. We need this. The American people are demanding this. This is not a left versus right issue. You know, the left wants to make it about Trump, and that's fine. That's all right. I think that there's enough evidence there that clears the president. If there's evidence that implicates him, let's talk about that too. But we want accountability. We want silver bracelets. We want these individuals taken to task and having the book thrown at them. 1121, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Cover Nash. I was talking with Shane Ring earlier this week, and like the big thing he wants to stress to you is, yeah, open enrollment has come and gone, but you can still get insured today. Good insurance, a great price. Thinking that you have to wait till open enrollment, that's what the big insurance companies want you to think, and that's just not the reality. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now today. No waiting, no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, no problem. You're just sick of overpriced junk insurance, you're in the right place because Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA compliant plans, free preventative care, plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, small businesses. You might not be able to get on Obamacare, but there are so many great private plans for you that can get you the best coverage available today without overpaying, without waiting, and without making you think that you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Cover Nash going to break it all down for you. Shane Ring is waiting by his desk for your phone call. 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Health insurance on your terms, not the government's. CoverNash.com.
The Commerce Secretary coming under increased Epstein files scrutiny. We've also got an update on the search for Nancy Guthrie coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom doing what Ken Weaver does, delivering the biggest headlines. Mason Fleming is also producing. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I got a text from one of our favorite liberals, Jeremiah. Jeremiah said, Lutnick lied, but Trump and Epstein was friends. I said, yeah, telling Palm Beach police Epstein's disgusting, Ghislaine is an operative and evil, and he's glad they're investigating them. Super friendly. It's just friend things.
Yeah, definitely on the same page.
Hashtag just friend things. So, yeah. Another texter said that Trump also lied, calling it a hoax. And I just made the point, which we've made on here before, the messaging needs to be massaged, but he was referring to the newfound interest by the left in the media when it comes to the Epstein files. That's the hoax. They were using it as an opportunity to bludgeon Trump. They have since run away from it. They ran away from it when they found out Stacey Plaskett, the Democrat rep, was texting with Epstein during a congressional hearing to hammer Trump. They ran away from it when Hakeem Jeffries was exposed as soliciting him for some donations and trying to go out to eat and get some dinner. Yeah, they ran away from it. And, you know, now we have more proof that Donald Trump was in contact with the Palm Beach Police Department, literally saying, Ghislaine's an operative of his. She's evil. You need to look into her, too. If you haven't seen the link, I'm happy to text it to you. Just hit us up on the text line, 615-737-9986, or you can hop on over to my X account, at Chris Hand on Air. 9767 said, you'll do anything you can to protect Trump, and it's pathetic. Okay. That's fine. You can continue to think that. You know what I'm going to do for 9767? I'm going to send him the link. Boom. Thank you. On the way, we got the lightning round. And also, this Savannah Guthrie story is, it's crazy, man. It has been an ordeal for that family. And a lot of people on the internet are blaming that sister. Have you seen the video edits where they're, like, from the videos where they're reading the letters and they're zooming in on the sister? And they're like, man, she doesn't seem upset at all. She seems like she's faking it. They've been going into her house to search for things, and it's crazy. A lot of people too are saying that maybe they paid the ransom already. But Fox News is reporting if that happened, the Bitcoin isn't as secure as many people think.
Bitcoin is not as secure as many people may think. I spoke to an expert dealing with Bitcoin just yesterday and asked that same question. Are they able to track this stuff? And they actually have the ability to track that type of information way more than we may realize. One interesting thing is that these wallets have a number. It's like an account number. And they keep this information if that account number has ever been used for any prior illegal activity. And they can monitor that account number. And the difficult part, too, is once that Bitcoin is transferred, well, you've got to turn that into usable money somehow. They've got to transfer that from Bitcoin into U.S. dollars or whatever they plan on using it for. That transaction is also trackable as well. So this is not something that even if the ransom is paid, that might be the best way to kind of smoke out these kidnappers.
So maybe they'll be able to track them down if they did pay that ransom. Also, just breaking now, the NBC is reporting that the FBI is going to release an image of a person at Savannah Guthrie's mother's house, Nancy's house, who appears to be wearing a mask and carrying backpacks or tools. This story is wild. Ken Weaver's got the latest in the headlines on the way. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers, we've got a couple of things in the way. A crash on the right shoulder, 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. B&A, some road work is blocking the right lane right now. Donaldson Pike northbound there at Hanger Lane. And in Franklin, a crash. Left shoulder block, 65 northbound before Murfreesboro Road. And you just heard Brother Chris with the breaking news. The investigators into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie are going to release images of a subject they say are tied to her mysterious disappearance. We'll be looking forward to that and get you the latest on that. Right now, we know that law enforcement is working around the clock to try to find Nancy Guthrie. Today, host Savannah Guthrie releasing a social media post yesterday pleading with the public to alert law enforcement if they have any information. ABC News contributor Brad Garrett says it's unusual to not hear from Guthrie's potential captors, but also says that law enforcement is trying to use digital forensics to come up with leads.
This is a case that's always troubled me from the beginning because it's not a normal kidnapping. There's no direct communication with her family. There's no ability to basically send something to Savannah and her brother and sister regarding proof of life. Not that that was apparently even brought up, I assume, by the would-be or alleged kidnappers.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is coming under fire for his appearance in the Epstein files that were released by the Justice Department. Lutnick had said earlier that he cut off ties with Epstein before his conviction and that he barely knew him when the two were neighbors in New York. But during a Senate Appropriations Subcommittee hearing, Chris Van Hollen of Maryland asked Lutnick about the nature of his relationship with Epstein, and Lutnick said that he went to Epstein's island with his family.
When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's called the Hydro Wave. I've been talking about it for weeks, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville is the only office in Tennessee with this brand new state-of-the-art device. If you're dealing with back pain, neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging discs, knee pain, numbness in your arms or legs, you need to know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and you need to know about the Hydro Wave. This thing is stimulating stem cells for real cellular healing. No surgery, no needles, no opioids. I know, it's crazy. Let's get you back to a pain-free life. You pair the Hydro Wave with the non-surgical spinal and knee decompression, and this is as advanced as it gets. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they're pros. They're using anti-gravity machines, robot lasers, and they're even going to take the time to review your MRI and explain it. I know it's a novel concept, but they'll do it for you. And they're not just going to explain it, they're going to tell you how to fix it. A pain-free life is within reach, but you got to make the phone call to the Wellness Institute. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. You deserve a pain-free life. Go to painisbad.com. 11:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Need a water filtration system? You need a water softener? You get it at betterwater.com, obviously. Obviously. Why would you need that? Does anybody know? Mason, do you know?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
It's a reason. It's a reason. Hey, can you do me a favor? I was going to have RJ do it yesterday, but he's just like, I don't know. He was a little bit overwhelmed. And I don't want to put more on his plate. I need you to send an invite for our State of the Union party.
Ooh, who am I sending it to?
Maxine Waters.
I think I can do that.
Ahead to the State of the Union that's coming up later this month. I know in the past you have chosen not to attend Trump speeches. Do you plan to be there this time?
Oh, no. I will never honor him with my presence.
Do you think in the subject line you could say, "Will you honor us with your presence?"
Reclaiming my time.
Okay. I just want her there.
Reclaiming my time.
I think
Reclaiming my time.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do. If she doesn't reclaim all of her time.
I'll pay for her ticket.
Oh.
I'll pay for her ticket.
You hear that, Maxine? Free steak dinner.
I asked this question yesterday. I don't know if RJ knew who Maxine Waters was.
Probably not. That's also totally fair.
We're in the weeds. Yeah, like I don't blame him. Do you think that Maxine Waters would be a draw or a repellent to our event?
Do you think we need to get the velvet rope back out?
I think we have a liberal safe space at our event.
It's the only.
I think we might have to. The Steak of the Union, it's coming, man. It's going to be awesome. Legend Steakhouse on the 24th of February, and it's going to be just 100 people. It's 100 tickets available, less than that now. But $100 to get in gets you a 9-ounce sirloin steak, gets you 2 sides, gets you the salad bar, gets you dessert, and it also gets you 1 non-alcoholic drink. But that's everything included, tax and gratuity. Boom, right there. And then you get to be in the room while we watch the State of the Union. And I think it's going to be a good one.
I think it's going to be good. We've already had a lot of tickets sold.
I think people are going to get roasted. What does the poly market betting look like on the State of the Union? Do they already have stuff up?
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. They're not poly market.
You're right. I think. Hold on. Let's look this up real quick.
It's a little peek.
Poly market betting State of the Union. Ooh, here we go.
Oh.
Hold on. There's one. Oh no, this is an old one. This is Joe Biden. Here we go. Who will attend? Is Maxine Waters on that list? Because I'm gonna. Oh no, she's not. All right. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. Who will attend the State of the Union? Jared Kushner, 77%. Bezos, 75%. Erica Kirk, 71%. Al Green, 71%. Nick Shirley, 64%. I feel like that's some good value. AOC, Dana White, Elon Musk, Nicki Minaj, 41%. I feel like that's a good value bet for somebody that would be at the State of the Union, right?
I thought it would be higher percentage.
Will anyone be kicked out of the State of the Union? Ooh. Now, the last one we did was just a joint session of Congress, but Al Green did get kicked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a 38% chance right now.
Interesting.
So if I bet $100, I win $204.
Yep.
Get them out. Throw them out into the coat. Don't give them their coat. No coat.
I wonder if this counts. Like, do you have to be a big name?
Oh yeah, or just anybody.
Because I would, if I was ever invited, I feel like I would clean up. Because I'd be like, yeah, somebody is definitely getting kicked out of this.
Oh yeah,
wasn't there a guy that did that with the Super Bowl a couple years back, where it was like, will there be a streaker? And he bet that there would be a streaker, and then he streaked.
Yeah, there are I feel like there's a streaker every year.
Yeah,
got to make sure somebody keeps up.
I mean, there's some easy bets on the State of the Union. Let me see what we got. I feel like this is if you're planning for retirement, this is kind of the route to go.
Gambling. Win big.
What places will Trump mention during the State of the Union address? China, Iran, Venezuela, Let's see. We're going down. We're going for value.
Ukraine?
Yeah, we're looking for value. Portland, 24%. Taiwan, dude. Taiwan at 27%. You know he's going to bring up semiconductors.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's a good bet.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good bet. So you bet $100, you win $254.
It's pretty good.
Colombia, 30%, also a good bet. That's also a good bet. You bet $100, you win $268. El Salvador. I bet you might mention El Salvador.
I could see it.
Right? Nayib Bukele.
Yep.
Be like, all of South America should be like El Salvador. Right? I could see that happening. I mean, there's some good value in here, guys. There's some good value. Who will Trump name during the State of the Union address? Biden's at 91%. Maduro, 88%. Marco Rubio, 70%. Charlie Kirk, 64%. All right, let's look for the value, though. Let's look for the value. Oh, Zohran Mamdani.
That would be interesting.
20%. 20%. So we buy yes at $100. That would be $386. He might, but I could see him say, we're electing communists in our biggest cities and not giving them the credit of a name drop. I could see that. Let's see.
Not worth the drop.
Schumer and Waltz are both sitting at 33%.
I could see Walz getting another drop.
I could see Waltz and I could see Schumer. Musk at 38%. Bibi Netanyahu, 40%. Kristi Noem, 41%. That's good value. That's good value.
Yeah. Holman?
Ooh, is Holman on the list? Yeah, he's at 48%. So you bet $100, you win 181.
I'm here for it.
I think that. Yeah, I think you're definitely going to win some money on that.
Do you think he'll bring up Epstein?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Just because of where he's all the bleh.
Unless he's like, congratulations, you're all under arrest.
Arrest the room.
Just everybody gets arrested. What are the odds on everyone getting arrested at the State of the Union?
I told them at Palm Beach. They didn't listen.
I told the Palm Beach police.
Be better.
Will anyone get kicked out? I feel like that is a good bet. There's some money to be made.
Where's it being hosted again?
D.C. Right? It's the capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll fly out there.
What will he say? Ooh. Okay, so this is crazy. So will he mention America more than 25 times? Will he say America, American 25 or more times?
He better.
There's no value in that. It's like, it's 84%. So if I bet $100, I win 119. There's no value in that. I'm scrolling to the bottom on these. Gold card, trump card, 41%. That's your value on things he'll mention. So you bet $100 and you win. Well, you bet 200, you win 364.
Is he on their new healthcare plan?
Let's see. I'll tell you what he will say during the State of the Union. There's not a lot of value in this.
Yeah.
Will he say Biden 10 plus times? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. But yeah, there's some good value out there on Polymarket. Before we forget, do you know what time it is?
I think I know what time it is.
Then tell the people what time it is.
It's
the
lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. We cover all the stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, stories that we couldn't get to because we ran out of time, or stories that we just made us chuckle. Sometimes it's just stuff that makes us chuckle. We like to call it the lightning round. If you're not watching on Super Talk TV, you don't see my awesome karate moves every time I say lightning.
No, he does a full back.
I do knife hands whenever I say lightning. You kind of have to. I feel like you have to.
Oh yeah.
It's for the Super Talk TV audience. I wouldn't even have to say it. It was just a hand motion.
You motioned
that was so dope. That was so dope. I just chopped and Mason was there. It was just. Let's go.
I feel like you got superpowers.
Let's go. You should take Mondays off more often. I feel like he's rested.
Weekend, 3-day weekend.
He's energized. He's quick with the lightning. Oh my gosh. Congratulations, Mason.
I got chills with that one.
I did. Goosebumps. I got goosebumps. This guy's good.
All right, first story.
First story in the lightning round. Okay. We talked a lot yesterday about the halftime shows. Did you watch the halftime shows? You watched the bunny, didn't you? We're very disappointed in your choices.
I watched. I'll be honest. I watched Hulu downstairs.
The disappointment doesn't change.
What's wrong with Hulu? Moving on.
Moving right along.
Maybe the lightning will be delayed.
Okay. All right. Somebody check on Ken. In the aftermath of the halftime duel, Kid Rock has overtaken Bad Bunny for the #1 song on Apple Music post-halftime performances with his Till You Can't rendition with the third verse. Fantastic. It is #1 on iTunes Music.
You know, I awoke one Sunday morning all alone with this song stuck in my head. And in that moment, something or someone spoke to me. They said there was still a verse that needed to be written for this song. And to get up and write it down. There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and He give you a second chance till you can't.
#1 song on Apple Music. I mean, I think that says a lot about the American people and where they're at on the halftime performances. Fun fact, even Gabby Barrett, who was another musical act on the TPUSA halftime show, closely trailing behind Bad Bunny. I think they were up to, like, you know, they had right around, people are saying 10 million-ish when you combine all the platforms during the halftime show, watching live, and it was like, we're up to like 25 to 50 million, depending on what source you're looking at when you saw it. In the aftermath of it, everybody loving that rendition of Kid Rock's song. How many Twitter banner photos have you seen changed to Till You Can't?
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Kid Rock went on Laura Ingram's show last night to discuss the halftime performance, and he had some words for the left melting down about his performance.
The haters.
What's your reaction to that?
It's hysterical. You know, they're talking about some song that was written years ago that's clearly tongue-in-cheek. You know, I did it with my old protege, Joe C., God rest his soul, who looked like a very small child, although he was, 21 years old or whatever at the time. And we're doing this tongue-in-cheek thing, just having a good time. I mean, if we're going to go there, is somebody going to go back and read Bruce Springsteen's lyrics to I'm on Fire? Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? All that. Like, it's just these people will do anything, I'm used to it at this point. They're just not smart enough to realize all they're doing, these people are just basically my promo machine.
Right.
There's people that like me, love me, and no one likes Kid Rock. They either love me or people hate me. And the people that love me, all these people do is amplify anything I have going on, so people go, oh, Kid Rock's playing a halftime. Where do I watch it? So thank you, haters.
I love that. I love. So he says, no one likes Kid Rock. No one likes me. They either love me or they hate me. I love the awareness. He also had an opportunity to just absolutely take a huge steaming dump on Bad Bunny, and he didn't. He didn't. And I thought that was a class act. I'll be honest with you. Like, I didn't like the Bad Bunny halftime show, but you can't fault Bad Bunny for taking the opportunity to perform at a Super Bowl halftime show, right? Like, that's okay. Like,
One of the biggest events in the country.
100%. He had, over almost 150 million people watching. Yeah. Like, that's not... Anybody who's a musical artist that says no to that, like,
crazy.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. The blame needs to be directed at the NFL. That's the issue. The NFL thought a non-English halftime show was great. The NFL thought dudes humping on the field would be great, and that's what they decided to go with. It's not Bad Bunny's fault. That's just what he does, and he didn't turn it down. But Kid Rock had an opportunity in that interview to to take a dump on him, and he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Got another story for here in the lightning round. Dude, this story is insane. This guy in Louisville, Kentucky was sentenced. He was recommended a 65-year prison sentence, okay? Because in 2023, he abducted a woman, okay? Robbed her, sodomized her twice. This judge, this leftist liberal judge, is telling him in the courtroom that, like, oh, he's a victim. He had all these things wrong happening to him. This defendant, right? He says to her, "Eat my D," to the judge. Okay. Things would escalate. He said to the judge, "If I could spit on you, I would." Okay. He said, "I don't care." Okay. Over and over and over again to the judge. What does the judge do? This liberal leftist judge looks at this guy who's telling her to eat his D, saying that he would spit on her, and she decided to cut his sentence more than in half.
But Judge Davis thought the jury's recommendation was too long. She feels he hasn't mentally matured yet and never had a real shot at getting any help early in life.
But if you were to come in here and instead of being hurt and angry, which is what this court hears, right, as a 20-year-old African-American male that has been, experienced this society, etc., and you would show that, yes, okay, this is the situation, this is who I am, I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't want to be in jail for forever.
Thompson repeatedly stated he did not care, not about his sentence, the victim, or her family.
I mean, you heard him in the beginning of that clip. The local news there in Kentucky, WAVE, they tried to clip it, but you could hear him go, "Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. I robbed a woman and I sodomized her and I abducted her. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo." Judge Tracy Davis still decided to cut this monster sentence in half after the jury recommended 65 years. When are we going to say enough is enough with these leftist, liberal, activist judges? Insanity. This is right up the street from us.
But Judge Davis emphasized she's the one that holds the pen, and regardless of what the media may think, she applies the law.
Got it. So we're dumb, and she's smart. Judge Tracy Davis. Remember that name. I feel like when this guy gets out eventually and reoffends, this will be a story again. We got 30 years to wait. But how many other violent criminals has she reduced sentence for? How many has she let out onto the streets? Questions that demand answers. It's 11:55. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends over at Parker Safes and Vaults. Let me tell you why I trust Aaron Parker, the owner, the operator of Parker Safes and Vaults. These guys do business the old-fashioned way. They carry products they believe in. They answer the phone. They show up when they say they will. And they want to build long-term relationships with their customers. This used to be the gold standard. This is what every company used to do. It not so much anymore, but Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville still does business the old-fashioned way, and they offer the best safes: fire-rated, theft-resistant gun safes, UL-rated, TL and TR safes, built to resist tool and torch attacks. This is perfect for firearms, but it's perfect for photo albums. It's perfect for passports. It's perfect for precious metals. It's perfect for everything. Aaron Parker knows security. He's a veteran with Air Force security experience. He and his sons handle delivery and installation themselves. They cover all of Nashville and surrounding areas without hesitation. Give them a call today, 931-842-6445. Hop on their YouTube page, search for Parker Safes on YouTube, get a detailed review of every safe they have in stock, or click the website, parkersafes.com.